Did you guys hear me? Hello, hello, hello. If you guys can hear me, type one. If you guys cannot hear me, type two. The thing that I don't like about streaming here is that the chat, like the times of what I'm saying in the chat is probably delayed, maybe like, I don't know, like 15 seconds roughly. So I never really know fully. Oh man, I'm excited for today, guys. We obviously have seen the market moves. I've seen a lot of you guys that have capitalized off of it. If you guys are typing two, how do you know you have to type two if you don't hear me? Huh? Huh? Tell me how it makes any fucking sense. You guys think you're slick. You can't troll a troll. Come on. You gotta try a little harder than that. But on the other side of things, this week has been so far a great week, been very interesting. And I don't know why the quality is low. I am recording on a 4K camera. I'm not sure why it comes out super grainy. But yeah, I actually love the fact that the market moved how it did now, even after the fundamentals, because the fundamentals are following the technicals, meaning that what we are analyzing in the market is correct. And since we are analyzing the market correct, the fundamentals should continue to follow the technicals. Obviously, with what Trump said today, should have been something that created a ginormous spike up and down and not just a continuation move how it did. So I guess these fundamentals were actually great in terms of following the technicals, but sometimes it just does a huge wick. But I'm going to break all that down in just a couple of minutes. We're going to give it probably a minute or two before we get started. And what I love is that I'm showing all of you guys live. It's not get any more live than this. Yo, appreciate the trade. I caught it. This week as a scalper, I can say the market's going crazy. I mean, the market's going crazy as any type of trader you are. You could be a scalper, a day trader, swing trader, doesn't matter. Where's the cat? The cat's actually behind the computer. She like tans with the window behind me or whatever. Did you buy S&P 500? I don't trade anything outside of the currency pairs that you guys see on my watch list. What you guys see on my watch list is really all I do. Second, guys. Okay. All right. So let me share my screen. If you guys could see my screen, type one. If not, type two. If you guys could see my screen, type one. If not, type two. We'll get started in literally just 1 minute. Sick. All right, cool. Okay, we'll get started right now. All right, cool. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's begin. So, always starting off with crypto, just because I am in pretty motherfucking deep into crypto. As I talked about it yesterday, I'm in about almost 300K here on Ethereum, and I'm a little bit over 300K in Solana as well. Today, tariffs move. The announcement of the tariffs have driven price up, which is great. But when you look at it in retrospect, it's really not that much. It really is just a little bump. The Solana move was the exact same. Obviously, Bitcoin had the exact same move. Everything just had a positive reaction because they used this as a safe haven, and that's all really I know about it. For me, this just looks great for my P&L. Instead of being in drawdown 55%, now I'm in drawdown 52%. So it's just a little bit better. With that being said, we go straight to USD CAD, which is having the exact move that we talked about on Monday on the last live stream. And it fucking sucks that I did not catch this trade. I saw a lot of you guys tagged me, a lot of you guys send me DMs. Even though I might not reply, trust me, I see them. I try my best, but dude, like I'll get like 3,000 DMs every single day. And it's just very hard to reply to everybody and keep a conversation going. But I can tell that you guys are catching it when you guys post it and tag me. And I can tell, I mean, this is just a very easy trade to catch. And this is how it should be. I'm going to continue to send trade ideas like that. Either you catch them or you don't. I'm not gonna exactly send a signal like an entry stop loss. Like this is much better. You guys are able to make a decision on your own, and you guys are gonna be able to actually learn from what I'm teaching you because you're making your own decision and you're using my analysis to help you guys out. So if we would have entered, if I would have entered this trade at this point where I literally said exactly to do what I needed for it to do, which was have a push. And on this push, you guys can go to the Telegram and you guys can see that I literally said go back and have a retracement. And then on that retracement is then where I would be interested in entering the trade after the bearish rejection candlestick. Now, this bearish rejection candlestick happened beautifully engulfing this other candlestick right here. So this is a beautiful entry point. If you notice, this happened right before London session, right at 1 in the morning, 12 p.m. And this would have been a perfect point for you to enter this trade. Now, I did not enter it, and it's going to sound pretty pathetic, but I was not really paying attention to the charts. Like I was out on the road and I wasn't really paying attention to it. And then I just saw this bearish move. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm gonna wait for a little bit more of a retracement. Came home and I just knocked out. And on all of these other retracements, I just didn't want to enter impulsively. And the trade pretty much just tanked. So the trade is gone. The trade already happened. We've been taking sells on USD CAD successfully for the last month. And we've gotten beautiful sells here, beautiful sells here. This was another beautiful sell. I simply missed out on it. Am I mad about it? Not at all. I'm an adult, I'm a man, and I know this opportunity will come again. Maybe some of you guys feel emotional that you were not entering this trade at the right point and you missed out on it. Maybe you got impulsive and you still made some money. If you did not catch it exactly how I explained for you to catch it, but you still caught it, that's great. If you didn't catch it at all like me, that's totally fine. There's no issue with that. You just move on. Another opportunity will come. I'm not concerned about missing a trade. I'm not concerned about this not happening again. This will happen again into the markets. And this right here is a perfect pattern that we took once, twice, three times right here, and it will happen once again. Now, this trade is currently gone. There is nothing that we can do to actually enter this trade. The trade is pretty much done. All I can anticipate is for this trade to continue to drop over the next 2 to 3 weeks, which is what I explained to you guys would happen due to the monthly time frame, because the monthly time frame has a massive retracement that it needs to make it to. It doesn't need to, but it has a high probability of making it to this area right here. So there's still a solid 230 pips, 220 pips that you can have a possible entry here. Now, another entry here is basically rinse and repeating the same exact thing, which is going to be break, retest, sell. It's literally the exact same trade. Now, do I think that'll happen this week? I'm not entirely sure. I will possibly looking for scaling entries or new entries if it decides to have a retracement back up into this area here. And then we will enter the trade possibly up here. Right? So possibly we'll enter a trade right around here. And then the take profit would be here once again. And then the next trade would be here. All I'm doing is waiting for price to come back to these key areas that price is currently respecting. And when it's respecting it, you want to make sure that you make a decision on that right there. So this trade came back perfectly retested, had a ginormous daily wick. I always explain to you guys that we will have a 70 to 80% chance of a wick fill. I did not expect such a massive move this fast. I expected for price to kind of stall around here. And then the next day for it to have this move. Obviously, the tariff announcement helped that out. So sadly, since I did not take this trade, I will be deleting it since I only leave the risk to reward tools on my chart on the trades that I actually executed. You know, I'm going to leave it so I can just take a screenshot of it, send it in a Telegram, and then I take it off. Even if I take a win or a loss, I always leave the risk to reward tool. And like this shit goes back for like months, years. You can go to any random pair of mine, and wherever there's a risk to reward tool, that's a trade that I took, and I can just kind of hover over it quick, go back and look at it. Clearly, I've taken a lot of losses on Euro USD. Some nice wins here, nice wins, nice scaling wins here. Yeah, sometimes I just like going back and looking at it. You see, little loss right here. I mean, it's never ending. You know, you could do this. I could do this on all the pairs and there'd be a bunch of trades. So if all this makes sense, please type 1. If not, type 2. You don't have to spam. Please explain the entry signal. Go watch yesterday's or Monday's live stream. I explained it pretty well. And spamming doesn't help you guys. You could like I really ignore the spammers. I do this all the time. Does the EMA really matter? No, I don't really care about the EMA. So if all this makes sense, type 1. If it doesn't, type 2. And so that the majority of you guys understand it, which is key, which is perfect. Very sick. All right, next we have AUDCHF. AUDCHF, like how I explained on last live stream, we are anticipating for this trade to have a retracement. We are at the bottom of this market. What do you guys expect for the market to do at a low? Obviously, we should continue to have lows and continue going to the downside, but it is overdue a retracement to continue going down. Now, this retracement is high risk because we don't really ever know when that's going to happen. I set this round psychological level 50,000 and it literally hit it to the T. Like it does not get any more perfect than that price. And this shows you guys that banks liquidate their positions at round psychological levels. You know how many banks liquidated positions here that now drove this price to the upside? And what a coincidence that the tariff news came out at the exact same time. Like, bro, all this shit is just set up by the higher ups, bro. Like, we are little fish in the game. And these big fish are leaving their trails. They leave their trails, and it's pretty easy to catch on to it off of just simple analysis. Price has hit a historic low, and after it's hit a historic low, it's going to not only have a retracement, but it's going to have it at a round psychological level. You're going to liquidate your positions there. And right before we have a major news event, like it's just fucking pretty obvious to me right now. I'm no genius and I'm not no conspiracy. I mean, I obviously believe in some conspiracy theories, but this is just plain right in front of us. Like, dude, look at that. Like, it does not get any more perfect than that. So this is a great indication that now we can start our retracement. So if I compare this push to even this push right here, you can tell after you have your first rejection from it, you can tell here that this has its first rejection. Then we start having a little wick retracement, and then we have a move. I can show you plenty of examples just like this one. We can go to the pandemic one. Well, this one right here had the first push and then we were wrong. Now on the second one, when you started having the bullish push, wick retracements, and you could have rode this whole entire wave to the upside. That's exactly where I believe that we are right now. I personally believe that this is the bottom of this move. I believe now we're going to come back and maybe retest this area to head to the upside, or even come back down here and then create the right shoulder to continue going to the upside. Here we'll have a left, we'll have a head, and then a potential right shoulder. Even if it does something like this for me, it'll be fine. This is still indeed a high risk trade, but everything is all pre-calculated risk. My first take profit will probably be the next structure point. And the next structure point is pretty far. Like this will make it, I don't know when, maybe it could take a week or two, but just statistically speaking, it just has to make it here. This is just the next structure point. Support, 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 support. This, before doing anything, needs to come here, and then there it can decide to go lower or decide to break above. Now, this can leave us with a great opportunity for us to come here and then potentially capitalize for here. 1 to 6 is not too far-fetched. This is very, very realistic. Now, the only problem here I'd say is the time. So I would really wait for a clean retracement, clean rejection to enter this trade to the upside. If that makes sense, type 1. If it doesn't, type 2. Big ass water bottle. Fire. Oh, dude, you clicked one and two. Pick one. Pick one. Or maybe you're just like spamming it and you clicked it by accident. You guys gotta pick one. But this is pretty straightforward. This is pretty simplified, honestly, because it's just structure. You're really not looking at anything other than what's right in front of you. This is actually one of my favorite trades. This was my favorite trade. We missed it. And now I have a new favorite trade, which is this one. Aside from that, Euro USD basically has done nothing that interests me in order for me to enter this trade. Currently, right now, it has not retested this area exactly how I wanted to. Daily had a major wick, price move to the outside, price move to the downside. And, these are pretty big moves for Euro USD. Like for it to move 180 pips within one day up and down is a pretty big deal. Like this market like it does really not ever move this much. This is just what's going on right now with the tariffs. Like, this is a lot of volatility for this pair in one single day. And that's cool, but I didn't have it for where we were interested in entering this trade. Now, GBP USD is a trade that we missed early on into the week just because the break and retest was not exactly what I wanted. And now it is having a retest of that. Again, this is all simple market structure. You could be an experienced trader in here. You could be an unexperienced trader in here. You could be a newbie. This, no matter what level you are in, should literally tell you sells. Here you could even see it. You have head and shoulders. After you have the head and shoulders time pattern, then you have liquidity grab, taking everybody out, and then you have the full shift of structure. Now it's coming back to retest that neckline in this area of interest to continue going with the trend because this trend is indeed bearish. This is the lower high, and then this is going to be your lower low. And now we are retesting this area of interest right here. This is simple technical analysis. Doesn't matter if you're a scalper, if you're a day trader, if you're an ICT trader, if you're a order block, SMC. It does not matter where you are. You could be a he, she, they for all I care. I don't give a shit. You could be a them. Well, them, this is what is right in front of you. Market has shifted bearish, massive liquidity grab, and now it is coming back to retest once again. It doesn't matter if you're here or they, this just makes sense. And I would have loved if it would have come back to retest this area here perfectly, but price did not manage to make it into that area. Once again, just I guess the zone was too strong, but this does not scare me. This does not let me know that the trade is gone because you guys can clearly see that this market comes back here multiple times before actually having the move. Here it retested once, twice, three times, four times, five times before having the move. Once, twice, three, boom, before having the move. So I think that this can have easily another retracement of this area and another retest of this area before actually having the move. So I'm going to put my alarm a little bit above this area here in order for it to notify me once it gets there. I would personally love if it closes with a ginormous wick. Like if this just closes as a full wick, that right there would be like, bro, if I have a fucking date and that shit creates that wick, I'm canceling my date. I don't care. It's done. I'm gonna take this fucking trade over that date. You know why? Because it's gonna do what I say every single time. It's gonna have a wick fill. Look at this beautiful break, retest, ginormous wick fill. I mean, ginormous wick and then wick fill. You go out on a date, you're not getting that. Respectfully, you could be a he, she, they, them in the date. I'd rather have my wick fill than going out on a date. It just makes more sense to me. The risk to reward is a lot better taking this trade. You know what I'm saying? So this is a perfect trade. Now, obviously, since it does have the USD in it, I don't know how much it's going to have influenced by the tariffs. Obviously, it is already having, massive influence because of it. But like when it comes to like how it should actually respect how the structure of the market is moving. Because a move that is currently happening right now is very fundamentally driven. Now, right now, I don't know how much it's going to be fundamentally driven or technically driven at this area. So once again, I'm going to be a little bit more on the conservative side when it comes to entering this trade. And I mean, you can just see this is a key level. Support, 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 and resistance here. Whenever we're under, we're selling. Whenever we're above, we're buying. Whenever we're under, we're selling. I just need a better retest simply because right now it makes absolutely no sense in order for me to enter this trade right here because then my stop loss would have to be extremely high for no reason, and then my risk to reward would make no sense. My entry would have to be a little bit higher, and then that would even give me more breathing room, and my risk to reward will be positive. That's GBP USD. GBP CAD was basically same exact scenario. I would have loved that this would have came back here and retested it, but it didn't. And this is what I think USD CAD is going to do on the monthly time frame. If you notice, this has already pulled up to this area of interest right here. USD CAD is on the way, and I believe when it makes it to this area of interest, I believe it's just going to completely break through it and then create a massive wick. But obviously, we won't know until that happens. But that's currently what's happening with GBP CAD on the weekly time frame. We pulled up, now we're rejecting. Now this is setting up great buys, but these buys are going to take definitely some time to set up because we're back in this accumulation zone where price just gets stuck for a very long time before actually having a move. So for now, GBP CAD, I am good, and that's pretty much it. Euro GBP, I was interested in it earlier to the week, no longer interested. And then every other market, I'm realistically just like not even looking at it. I'm just completely staying away from it. I don't trade gold. So I know a lot of you freaks out here are talking to me about gold. I don't trade it. I'm not interested in it. I don't analyze it. I don't like it. Gold is just not my thing. It's like a superstition, I guess, if you want me to give you guys an answer that I don't have an answer to. I just don't like gold. And I don't like US 30. I like my currency pairs that move slow. I don't care if this moves 50 pips in a day. If I have a 10 pip stop loss and a 50 pip take profit, that's a 1 to 4. I don't need volatility to make money in the market. I need simply risk to reward. And that's why I like these pairs, or historically, I've liked these pairs over anything else because they're low volatility and they respect structure. Now, obviously, there's been a shit show going on and everything's changed all around the world, but my principle remains the same on why I'm interested in these trades. You're talking, I mean, yeah, I was talking about gold just because the position size calculator on the broker that I use, this is the broker that I use, lqhmarkets.com. They have a position size calculator for gold. So if you guys want to calculate gold for whatever reason, just go to LQH Markets at the bottom. They have a position size calculator, lot size calculator, and then you can just calculate your currency however you want to do it. So they have a bunch of other shit too. I just use my basic currency pairs. But no, I don't trade gold. I'm not interested in gold. I'm good with my little AUDCHFs. Like this is perfectly fine. What indicators do I use? I really only use the EMA. And to me, it's just an indicator that is a added confluences. Like, let me see how I can set an example for it. Having an indicator for me, it's like an extra. It's like if you go out on a date with a girl, and when you go out on a date, you just met her on Tinder or wherever the fuck you met her. And when you pull up, you're 6'2" like me, and she happens to be shorter than you, right? That's cool. But if she pulls up and then like she actually create a conversation, that's cool. Like that's all like foundation that you think. But like if you see her with her nails done, like you don't really care. It's an extra. It just sweetens the deal. It's not gonna make or break it. That's exactly what the EMA is to me. It's not going to make or break a deal. It's just sweetens it up the trade and the probability a little bit more. I can completely take it off and it won't affect my trade at all. Like a girl can have her nails done or not, it won't matter about how she treats you or her height, you know? Bro, I am 6'2". If you see me in person, you know I'm 6'2". Come on, man. The set and forget work for gold. I have a lot of students that use it for gold and it works. I just don't understand why people love gold. They're like, yo, I only trade gold or I only trade US 30, I only trade SPY or SPX. It's like, bro, why? Like, why you lit like, dude, you know how many women there's out there in the world? Why only limit yourself to one? How does that make any sense? You want to have variety in your life. Having one is not going to do you any good. It's just stressful because if you have one and it's just not going well, it's all over the place, dude, you can take your efforts and go somewhere else. You can apply that principle to anything in life. One of my cars breaks down. Dude, I got five, six other cars. I can just go and drive another one. Why stick to one car? It just doesn't make any sense to me. I hate gold. Yeah, or NAS 100. I don't know. It just literally does not make any sense to me. I mean, whatever. People can have their theories and they can do whatever they want, right? Like, salute to you guys. But for me, it just simply makes no sense. Can you explain the wick fill? The wick fill. I mean, do you want like the technical version of it? I think I've said it like 1,000 times, or do you want like an analogy version of it? It's like when you get in a fight with your girl. I hate that I'm putting these examples, but they just make sense. And like 99% of you guys are dudes. The 1% that are girls, I'm sorry, but I know you ladies will understand. It's like when you get in a fight with your girl, like a petty fight, like she leaves or you guys stop talking, like she's gonna come back, right? It's just like a little bit of a bluff at that very moment. It's the exact same thing with the wick. The wick looks like a rejection, but it's really not. It's just a bluff because that's just price coming right back and then it's going to fill that wick. So a wick in the trend of the direction that it's headed is a wick fill. A wick rejecting the opposite direction, that's a rejection. You gotta know how to use these wicks because not every wick is gonna fill. It only fills if it's at an area of interest and the wick is going in the direction of the move. I feel like that might have confused some of you guys. And you know what? I don't want to leave you guys on a confused angle. I'm gonna actually just show you guys this on the chart right now. It's just the right thing to do. I cannot, I can't not explain this correctly. All right, let me see how I explain this. Perfect example right here. I can literally show you guys this right here in like 0.5 seconds. This market at this very moment of it creating this market was bullish. This market was creating higher high, higher low, higher high. And on this higher low, it has a wick. The wick is in the direction of the trend. So what we are expecting is for that to have a wick fill of that because it's following the direction of the trend. That is a wick fill. The wick is happening in the direction of the trend. Now, this is a wick rejection, and it should not have a wick fill of that move right there. And again, these examples are fucking literally endless. For example, this right here is technically a wick fill. We're at a higher high, we have a rejection, we filled that wick. Right here, we're at a higher high. We have a ginormous wick rejection, but it's in the trend. We wick filled. It's really all it is. For example, here we are bearish, wick filled. And these are just better to show you guys in examples in real time, but yeah. So I don't know if you guys like my analogies or not, but to some people they make sense. Do I think Bitcoin's gonna reach 200K this year? I don't know. All I know is that I am bullish on crypto, just all time, right? My crypto investment, I have like a 2 year set and forget mindset on it. So I mean, yeah, for now, I mean, let me see if I can see any new markets that I'm like gonna be potentially interested. I mean, there's really nothing else that I'm interested in for this week. Really, realistically, nothing. I'm just being very patient on AUD CHF, being very patient on USD CAD. And I have this rule, and I never really break it. And that's that whatever markets I analyze on Sunday. So I get in the car every single Sunday with my students. And I'll pick out of all the 15, 20 markets I have, whatever, I'll pick the top four, top five that I'm interested for the week. And then I will only focus on those 4 or 5 for the week. If there is nothing happening on those 4 or 5, I will not go and look for other opportunities on other markets. That for me is me being impatient. I'm having FOMO and I don't want to stick to my plan. I don't want to stick to my rules. And then what I do there is I am breaking my trading plan on only focusing on the trades that make sense. So if I right now, all the markets that I've been interested in, they all already happened and they're not giving me any new opportunities, I won't go and find new opportunities in other markets. That would be me breaking my trading plan and not staying focused to the markets that I analyzed on Sunday with my students that I had a fresh mindset on. Every single Sunday that I pull up to the markets to analyze them, I'm fresh. I'm not in the mindset that I need to trade. I need to make money. Even at any experience level, you kind of just go through this because you're involved and you want to be involved. And I just stick to it. I don't go and get involved into any of the markets unless it's the top four, five, six that I pick, because when I analyze those markets, I can't execute the buy or sell button. So even if I wanted to, I can't, because it's Sunday, the market's closed. So I make a decision when I have no other choice than not take a trade. So I'm making a logical analysis and I'm making a logical decision if I'm interested in the trade or not. So when in the middle of the week, when I'm actively trading, I can click that buy or sell button immediately. And it's a lot easier to get influenced on those trades because you have the opportunity to enter it there. So I noticed that over a course of period of time, and I just focus on the ones that I focus on. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the live stream. All we really got is pullback USD CAD, pullback AUD CHF, and let's see where the week takes us. I mean, Trump is not stopping. We're going to keep getting crazy news. It's going to be happening on the regular. If you guys love these streams, put a fucking W in the chat and then share the next one with your friend. Get one of your boys on that wants to learn how to trade. Maybe, we get them to become a trader one day, or maybe they don't. But put a fucking W in the chat if you guys like these streams. And if you guys are excited for the next one, which is going to be on Friday. If there's more happening throughout the week, I can actually be able to, you know, educate you guys on more stuff. Let me read the chat here. You look at the DXY for analysis. I do not. Found you on Combi Stream. That is dope. Are you coming to Dubai for the Forex? I'm not going to Dubai for a while. Super far. It's like an 18-hour flight. Can you explain order blocks? I'm not an order block trader, so I don't know how to explain that. What I think about Bitcoin, I think it's going to go up for a while. What about if you entered USD CAD and it stopped you out? Well, if you got stopped out on USD CAD, that means that you did not pay attention to the live stream and did not listen to how I explained the take profit and stop loss. Bro, I made 9,000 on USD CAD because of you. I got the screenshot. You the man. Bro, please send me the screenshot, dude. That's pretty lit. Can't even lie. Let me actually take a picture of that. What do you think about order flow footprint chart? What the fuck is that? Can I use a 30-minute for entry signal? Yeah, I use the 30-minute for the entry signal. That's the lowest time frame that I use. Usually I used to use the 15-minute time frame, but I don't really use it anymore. I haven't completely removed it from my list, but I will soon, just because I don't like it as much. It's not as respected. The structure just changes too often, and I don't really like it. Give me the Miata. No, I'm gonna build a Miata. I'm gonna put an LS inside of it. For GU on Monday, I saw the daily that it created a lower low, and I figured it would create a lower high before having to move. No, you weren't wrong for waiting. You're never wrong for waiting for an extra confirmation. This is something that I was actually talking about with my students internally. And I have this thing called the extra confirmation. And this is all just a bunch of different shit that I just throw onto the chart that I want the market to create in order for me to make the decision on entering the trade. Am I wrong for asking for the market for extra confirmations? No, because I am putting money behind this shit and I want to have as many reasons that I possibly can to enter this. Now, does that make me miss a lot of trades because I'm being extra picky? Sure. But whenever I take a trade, I'm 100% confident in it because I asked for extra confirmation. So you're not wrong on waiting for a lower high or waiting for whatever. That's good. That means that you're being patient. Usually people have a problem with not being patient. Uh, Shit, I'm trying to read. What platform should I use? Whatever platform you want, brother. What are your thoughts on instant funded accounts? I think I've heard of these new accounts. I don't really know much about them yet. I'm gonna look into them, but I don't really know even how they work. What are you building in my compound? I got some cool things coming, but right now, all I care about is trading. Like I have so many projects stopped just because of fucking trading. It's so annoying. What is the difference between trading on FXCM and Oanda charts? It's just the server. So it's basically what displays the markets. It's either the data feed that Oanda gets or the data feed that FXCM gets. I just like Oanda. It's what I've used forever because it's the biggest regulated broker ever. Do you wait for the daily candlestick to close at the area of interest? Ideally, yes, but you don't always have to. Can you tell me how to enter a trade? I'm struggling to enter a trade. Look, man, if you're trying to enter a trade and you don't know how to, you're very early on into your journey and you gotta just go watch some of my videos and put some time into this. But yeah, you're very at the start. You shouldn't even be here. This is a very high level live stream for sure. Are you looking at news when I'm interested in trading? Nah, bro, never. Like I literally don't remember you know what? Another thing why I took off the position size calculator from my FX book and I only use the one from LQH now is because I would get all these different news pop-ups from that shit, and I don't care about news. I don't want to get distracted by it. I just want to focus on my fundamentals. So no, I don't look at news at all. Is order block a fancy name for support and resistance? Correct. How do you anticipate the next support and resistance levels and the breakouts? Just logic. You find a logical point where the market should have a move, and you look to the left. The more taps it has, the better. The less taps it has, the worse. Someone fucking calling me. So yeah, boys, I hope you guys enjoyed this stream. Put a W in the chat if you guys liked it. I'm excited for Friday because it's going to be our first official recap of our first live stream together. So far, technically speaking, we would have two winning trades, but I will not count two winning trades. I will only count one winning trade. USD CAD was way too easy. I was just, busy with another trade, and I wasn't able to enter that one. And it sucks for me because I would have much rather entered USD CAD than a different trade, if you know what I'm talking about. So yeah, I do not. I don't even want to get started. So we're technically, one winning trade. We have one somewhat winning trade, and the week's still not over. We still have opportunities, and I'm excited to see how this week continues. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. I will see you guys in the next one. Make sure to set and forget. W's in the chat. Thank you guys for being here all the way to the end. And I'm going to see how I can continue to provide value and see how I can help you guys out in any possible way throughout your guys' journey and in this live stream. Thank you guys very much, and I'll see you guys in the next one.